Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is May 24th, 2022, and this is episode 506, I believe. Today we're looking at 8 billion genies. That's a lot of genies, if you ask me. Okay, this is number one issue coming out from Image, celebrating 30 years of publishing. It comes in at a whopping $3.99. And I gotta say that this is a recommend right off the bat. Okay, on the cover here we see the genie. It's a very stylized genies. There's 8 billion of them. Okay, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. And you can see some of the cast of characters that are all standing around this genie. All right, and I can't remember all their names, but we'll kind of go through their personalities. Let's take a quick look to see who worked on this book. It is by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. There you go. Of course, Charles Soule is the writer, and Ryan Brown's doing the cover, the designs, the coloring, the art, everything else. And then we have a couple other covers by some other artists there. You can see cover B, C, letters by Chris Crank, and color assistant Kevin Nipstein, and production design Erica Shantz. Okay, so our story begins, and it's a little bit of an unusual story. It's taking place mostly in a bar in Michigan, some kind of dive bar. And we take a look at, we've got a couple Chinese tourists out front. We've got a small boy going into the bar, and in the back here you can see this guy. He's taking musical equipment out of the van. They're going to play a gig in this bar called Lampwick. There you go, live music. And here is the bar owner. Okay, and he's kind of like this all-knowing guy. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the boy comes in, he says, asking where his father is, and there his father is. So here's one of the tropes that's in here. We got a few tropes here. The guy is dead drunk. The father's dead drunk for whatever reason. And of course, it's the boy's birthday. And the bartender knows that. And he tells the boy, I'll get you whatever you want. It's your birthday. So the boy's there with his drunk father asleep, who's asleep on the bar. Meanwhile, the band is in back setting up. It's a three-piece band called the Bada Bangs. About like Bada Bing, but Bada Bangs. And the drummer has a crush on the bass player. The bass player has a crush on the guitarist. And this is the guitarist here. And that plays into this very shortly in this story. So they're kind of talking about their gig and who's going to show up, or is anybody going to show up. And they're missing an extension cord, so the bartender's going to go help him find it. But look at how angry he looks here, but he's not really angry. That's just kind of a weird way to draw someone that's just saying, no, go ahead. Go down the basement. We've got all kinds of stuff down there. But he's going to go get the extension cord for the band. Meanwhile, these Chinese tourists show up, and they're using Google Translate, trying to find something called, that sounds like the Lampwick Bar, but it's the Lamplight Tavern, which is cross town. And the boy is tending bar for some reason, and their translator's not giving a good translation, but the bartender comes back, and of course he can speak Chinese. Just as they put it, you just pick up things when you're old. It's like, okay, I'm old, and you don't just pick up things. You have to apply yourself just like anything else, no matter what age. But he can speak perfect Chinese with these people. And he tells them that, oh, yeah, your bar you want's across town. You must just stay here. And so we've got the band setting up. They're not expecting anybody to show up. We've got two Chinese tourists that are lost. And we've got the boy trying to roust his father from his drunken stupor because it's his birthday and his father's supposed to do something. His deadbeat father's supposed to do with him something. So in the meantime, the guitarist goes out, or the drummer asks the bass player for a date. Turns out she really doesn't want to go. Then we switch to Paris, and for some reason, the birth of this one child here suddenly creates billion genies, and each genie kind of looks like the person. It kind of resembles, has some characteristics of the person that they belong to. Now, these genies are kind of special in a way because you don't get 3 wishes, you only get 1, and there seems to be no restriction on it. So right off the bat, I guess the bartender is very, very wise because he just uses his wish right away before everybody else. Everybody else is kind of freaked out by these genies, as you can see, as they've gathered around. And so the bartender listens to them, what the genies are saying, that you have 1 wish. What can I do for you? And he says, okay, and here it is. The first 8 seconds, when human population is 8 billion, the genie population is also 8 billion. So here's what he says, the bartender. I wish that no wish made outside this bar can affect this bar or anyone inside it. Okay, and so the genie hears and says done and kind of evaporates. Enjoy the show. And so everybody else is a little bit stunned, but the bartender seems to be wise, knows a lot. Okay, first 8 minutes, suddenly someone wished that the Earth is no longer round. I don't know if it's a flat earther. You can see a couple explosions taking place on this Earth that's now a cube. And they got the human population has dropped by 1, and the genie population has dropped by 2. So one wish was to make the air, I guess, make the Earth square. The other one was the bartender's wish. I don't know if there's going to be a countdown through this whole series for this or not, but just the beginning, it was like this. So the girl that was being asked by the drummer understands this right away, and she says, oh, please make the guitarist fall in love with me romantically. And the guitarist is actually in the bar, and she's making her wish after the bartender. So she gets all excited, and the drummer is, saying, I wish, and then he just says, oh, never mind. And he walks back into the bar. So he's upset because she kind of not only turned him down, but just professed her love for the guitarist. So he goes storming and just says, I'm going to get drunk. Give me the cheapest booze you got. Meanwhile, you can see the kid is a little bit disturbed by these genies. He's trying to rouse his father, get him out of there. And then the girl goes in to talk to the guitarist, thinking he's going to be in love with her. And he's just like, what? No, I just like you, And he's kind of arguing with her. And then he realizes that the bartender's wish has stopped him from falling in love with her. And he's upset with her because he said, hey, me falling in love with you would, because you wished it, is not free choice. So you got this little conflict going on there. Meanwhile, the drummer's just getting plastered on his own. I don't know what kind of gig is going to end up going on here, if any, at this point. So the father is saying, he's woken up now. He wants to take his son out of there because all this weird stuff's going on. He's very agitated, as you can see here. But his son seems to be able to calm down a bit. So in the meantime, they hear this loud noise outside, and the bartender's warning him, don't go outside. Do not go outside. So the, I think his name's Ron, opens the door a little bit to see what's going on, and this is what he sees. Just all kind of mayhem in the streets as these wishes are being granted. I guess someone wished to be very, very large. Someone wished for a spacecraft, a UFO to come. Someone wished for a castle that just came. Someone else wished for some kind of rocket ship and it impaled somebody else. And this guy's got some kind of Gundam type looking robotic tank thing that he's shooting somebody. This guy's flying. There's a couple people flying actually. This guy apparently can leap. Someone wished to ride a dinosaur that's eating people. So just all kinds of mayhem is broken out. This guy wished for a very large truck with lots of gold in the back from this guy, I guess. So they've partnered up. And then we kind of get a look around the world, what's going on when everybody's making this wish. Somebody in Tucson wished for a lot of money. Someone wished to be able to have their own personal portal. That was in British Columbia. That one was Arizona. This one's Norway. Someone wished that they could walk again, some old lady, and then her husband wished they could be young again. So now we got this weird mismatch. There's someone in Vietnam wished they could fly, and off they go. This cosplayer wishes that he could have the adventure of his life, and he's, I guess, wished two creatures into his life. And somebody in Atlanta is having an argument with their folks, and he wished them to hell, and they burned up. So some bad things are happening with these wishes. Not all good. This boy wishes he was a professional soccer player and names the name, and boom, he becomes him. And this person in Los Angeles wishes to be adored. So there's your LA Hollywood connection in here. We have to stick that in there. So they are just terrified for what they're seeing outside. Just total mayhem. Just all kinds of people being killed unintentionally for the most part. But they know as long as they stay in the bar, they're safe because of the bartender's wish. So we get this one shot here. We'll come back in the next issue to talk about the next 8 hours, what takes place. You can see one guy wished to be a superhero. Someone else is flying around as a big Megatron guy. I don't know. Maybe he's a Transformer. Someone else is crash diving into the street. And this guy's got two beautiful women on his side. So things are looking up for some people, not so hot for others. And next issue we'll find out. So this is a recommend. I really enjoyed it. It had a few tropes in it, but you know, that's okay. I think he made more than outdid it. So I think this looks like a strong entry for at least the next 4 or 5 issues. I'm hoping. The art I'm not crazy about, but it's okay. If I do have a complaint, I think on the coloring, some of it was just so dark. It would just look kind of muddy, especially some of these interior scenes. I just didn't really care for it. I mean, that's really dark. It makes the Genies pop, I guess, and maybe that's part of the reason they went with that darkness. But the Genies actually, at first I thought they were kind of weird, but then I realized that they were kind of mimic the creatures, the humans that they are paired with. So I thought that was actually kind of a cool idea. So they all don't look like Robin Williams' genie from Aladdin. Okay, so let's take a look to see what else is going on with the image in general. Here's another book by the same team. It's called Curse Words, Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. I believe this is also a special 760-page hardcover omnibus is coming out now, containing the entire Curse Words saga. That's coming out this month, if it's not out already. We have God Hates Astronauts, the omnibus, trade paperback. So if you like that one, there you go. I think that might be an anthology. Here's the Undiscovered Country, volumes 1 through 3 now available, so I'm assuming this must be a trade paperback. And the cover for next month's 8 Billion Genies. There you go. Issue 2 in stores in June 15th. So yeah, this is a recommend. My store had quite a few of them. I think it might catch on. It might disappear. So if you get a chance, run down and get it. It was just a fun comic. It's fun to think about. It's one of those comics that where a story that you think about what you would do with your one wish and how you would keep safe and everything else. And I kind of like that because it is immersive. And it puts you in like, hey, you're one of these 8 billion people on Earth. Why not have your own wish? So there you go. Recommended. So thanks for stopping by and watching this comic book review on YouTube. As always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments. And we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.